Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome to the latest episode of my vlog. We're here in Santo Domingo, the capital city of the Dominican Republic. It is a huge, bustling city of 3 million people. It is crazy, it is chaotic, it is very, very bustling and full of people. So let's go out there and see what this city could possibly throw at us. We'll start our tour of Santo Domingo here at Fortaleza Osama, which is in the Zona Colonia. Most tourists, in fact, never really make it out of the Colonial Zone in the old town of Santo Domingo because this is where there is a huge concentration of beautiful old buildings, the most historical, the most interesting in all of Santo Domingo. The fortress itself is a 16th century castle built by the Spanish at the entrance to Santo Domingo, and it overlooks the Ozama River, hence the name of the fortress. Construction began here in 1502 and was completed in 1505. Now, this is the kind of historical monument that you expect to find somewhere in Europe or Asia, but not in the Americas, and that is what makes Santo Domingo such a fascinating city. A very short walk from the fortress is the Cathedral of Santa Maria la Menor, also in the Colonial Zone here in Santo Domingo. It is dedicated to St. Mary of the Incarnation. It is in fact the oldest cathedral in all of the Americas, and construction began here in 1512 and it was completed in 1540. This is a stunningly beautiful cathedral, and you can enjoy the beauty of this place in air-conditioned comfort. With so many buildings dating back to the 16th century, it would not be an exaggeration to say that the Zona Colonial area in Santo Domingo is like a huge open-air museum. There's always something old and crumbling and so charming everywhere you look. The National Pantheon of the Dominican Republic is another very popular attraction in the Zona Colonia. Construction of the Pantheon began in 1714 and was completed in 1746 by Spaniard Jerónimo Quesada y Garzón, and it was originally a Jesuit church. The structure was constructed in the neoclassical Renaissance style, and today the structure stands as a national symbol of the Dominican Republic and serves as the final resting place of the Republic's most honored citizens. Whilst I found this ceremony most interesting to watch, I felt really sorry for these two guys. What is it with these uniforms? It's like 33, 34 degrees? I was in Santo Domingo during the rainy season, and when one of these epic tropical thunderstorms hit, all you can do is seek shelter somewhere dry and wait it out. Because even if you have an umbrella, believe you me, you don't want to be out there when it's raining like this. Even though I was halfway around the world, the weather and the vegetation in Santo Domingo actually reminded me a lot of Singapore. We've just had a huge thunderstorm and it's not really cooled the place down much, but I just want to point out this guy to you. This gringo is crazy. It's like 33, 34 degrees in here. And what the hell are you doing? Do you think you're still in Europe dressed like this? I'm amazed any of them actually endured the heat and survived in the New World. Está loco. Tourism is very important to the local economy here, and you can tell that this part of Santo Domingo has indeed received a lot of investment from the local government to ensure that the tourists like this place. Take a look at the streets here at Plaza de España in the Zona Colonial. It is so clean, it is pristine. Do you see any litter? Do you see any poor people? No, you don't, because this part of town is scrubbed clean just for the tourists to ensure that they come here and spend a lot of money at the 5-star hotels. The Park Independencia, or the Independence Park, is located on the edge of the Colonial Zone. This is where the founding fathers of the Dominican Republic are celebrated, but also it is a very pleasant park worth a visit. Santo Domingo has an impressively modern metro system. Now there are 2 lines, and I recommend that you take the train all the way to the end station of the blue line called Mamatingo. This is because this part of the metro system actually runs above ground, so you can have a look at how the rest of Santo Domingo actually looks like and where the ordinary people live outside the Zona Colonial, which is very much for the tourists. I must warn you that the metro can get quite crowded during rush hour. Just outside the Colonial Zone is in fact Santo Domingo's Chinatown. It is huge! I was really surprised. I did not expect to find such a big Chinatown in Santo Domingo. There are in fact approximately 50,000 Chinese immigrants living here in Santo Domingo, and they have certainly made their presence felt in this city, not just in terms of the many Chinese restaurants here in Chinatown, but also the many Chinese shops which have opened up all over the city.
没想到在Santo Domingo 有这么大的唐人街。
But when you do get to Santo Domingo, you have to get out of the Zona Colonial because there's just so much more to this big, bustling, fascinating city. And one place which you must go to is the famous Tres Ojos National Park, otherwise known as the Three Eyes National Park. This is a series of limestone caves filled with the most clear, beautiful blue water that you can possibly imagine. Yes, there are other limestone caves in the Dominican Republic, but how often do you find such a stunningly beautiful national park in the middle of a bustling big capital city like this? We visited a total of 3 such caves in the Dominican Republic, and the best one of them all was Las Cuevas de las Maravillas, which is very near the city of San Pedro. Now, I actually really like this one as well. However, the one thing that you cannot do at Los Tres Ojos is to swim in the water, even though it looks so blue, so clean and so inviting. Especially on these very hot days, you do want to go swimming. And unfortunately, you can't do that at this cave, but you can go swimming at the Padre Nuestro caves at Bayaibe. When we were there were no tourists at all, and we had the whole cave to ourselves. It was magical. I really enjoyed taking the local minibuses, otherwise known as guaguas. Who needs doors, windows and air conditioning or English-speaking drivers when you can see this city like a local? Thank you so much for watching this vlog episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Muchas gracias!